Hello everyone, welcome back to I'm Just a Mom. So we have something super special. I got my girl Nekita, my girl Tesa. What? You can follow her at Tesa Renee. You can follow her at Beyond My Surface, at IG. You got TikTok? People like,
I know,
Facebook?
No.
We going back.
I know, it's sorry.
I don't have a business.
Y'all, just Instagram and a website for me, okay?
We're gonna get them all on the social media handles very, very soon. However, right now, IG is where you can find them. I will tag them when I put this up. But we are here doing a summer series. It's called Momming and Vibin. So you see, we got our little board here. We got some wine. They made me put my
the board by Tesa.
My other drink up because they said it wasn't going with the vibe. So we just
had a bottle.
Yeah, I did.
It was real.
But if y'all been listening to me, then y'all know why I had a bottle, and it doesn't matter because y'all would have been rolling with that. But that's okay. We just gonna keep it cute.
Yeah, it's real classy.
So tonight we are talking about finding yourself in motherhood.
Yes.
Because Lord knows I was lost for like 4 years. Well, 3.5. 4.
Yeah. Did I find it? Am I there?
Yeah, I don't even know that.
I'm finding it.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like I keep finding a new level to have. So I'm like, dang, I thought that I had found me, but then I didn't.
Yeah, that part.
Okay. Just making sure y'all.
I ain't even want a kid.
Oh,
God. Right?
She went straight for the gut.
Yeah.
Like, that's where it starts for me. Like, I didn't even, like, I never saw myself, because my sister was a teen mom. She had her first child when she was 16, and she struggled, right? And I was like, I'm never doing this. I'm never going to do this. I don't want to be a mom, never.
But for me, I feel the same way because I'm like, I never imagined like kids, none of, you know how people have like their plan for their lives?
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't a kid like, oh, I'm gonna get married at this age, I'm gonna have a kid.
See, and y'all can tell me I wasn't gonna be somebody's wife at like 25.
Really?
I was gonna have 4 boys and a girl.
See, I never had
I had it planned out. Yes, I was the kid like in the hood school. They used to play MASH. We was like mansion, apartment, house. That was my thing. I
always thought
that
like it would come. Like it would, you know, that feeling would come. But you know, me being in college, things like that, like in the first relationship, a kid, no, like never, ever. So, and 3 of them.
So let's talk about when we found out we was pregnant then. Because our situations, I'm sure, wasn't what we pictured for ourselves, right? So like, Scott, when you found out you were pregnant, what was your response?
At first I was like, how is that even possible? No, mathematically and like time wise, it was like ain't no way an egg shouldn't even have been there. You know what I'm saying?
See.
Believe
in the apps. Girl's wrong. The app is wrong.
Yeah,
right, she did the tracking method.
Flow fucked me up. I've been using Flow for a while. Flow had your girl.
It does not monitor body changes.
Okay. Yeah. That's why I was drinking Hennessy. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
That's why
I always say I wasn't gonna talk about my child's father. So leave that at that.
I mean, I think that's respectable, but we get it since you made that disclaimer. We really not.
Here we go. So yeah, I mean, when I found out, like, part of me was excited, but a part of me was like, is this even gonna work?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was never one to like, I never wanted to be a baby mother.
That part, yeah.
Like, I had made it to my 30s. That was like not my thing. Like, anybody I've ever dated, that has always been a conversation very early on, because I grew up in a single parent household until my mother died, then I lived with my father, my stepmother. Yeah. So that was never like.
And I guess the upbringing kind of like changes things, because me, like, just being born and raised in Howard County, real sheltered, like I didn't really like have an idea of like, you know, lose my virginity or like getting pregnant or this could happen, a possibility. So I was like totally freaking lost. Like I ruined my whole Christian life. Okay, like my mom was going to kill me.
Now I ain't gonna lie. When you said you was pregnant, I said, "Well, I ain't gonna say."
Exactly, because I was heavy in the church, so I knew I was gonna get that backlash. Like my whole pregnancy was kind of like hell, just for it to be like the norm now in 2022. Like when I got pregnant, it was like, oh my god, because it wasn't a thing. Like nobody was going off to college and getting pregnant.
Right.
Like it wasn't a thing. Now it's like I want to have a baby at 21, and now it's okay.
Right.
Okay. But I found out I was pregnant just randomly because I was actually trying to lose weight. And I was like, why do I keep gaining? Like, I'm 300 pounds. Like, I shouldn't be going up. Like, so I finally took a pregnancy test just randomly, and I was pregnant. My immediate thought was like, oh, we gotta go to the clinic. I can't do this. Like, my mom, I can't tell my mom. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't, like, turn to anybody. So I finally broke down to my mom, and she was like, that blood won't be on my hands. You will not. Like, it went to the whole Bible and things like that. So then I had to start processing, like, oh, shoot. Like, I'm really about to go through this. I was just so depressed for so long, seeing all my friends, like, you know, living a college life. And I stayed on campus the whole time. So it was just, like, so depressing. But it definitely matured the hell out of me. I will say that. But I had no desire to be a mom. And even after the baby, after my daughter came, I had so much postpartum because I was like, what am I doing? Yeah. I don't get it. Like, every time someone said baby or anything, I would just break down crying. So my mom was like, you know what? I'm gonna step in. I'm gonna help you raise your child. You go back to school, and you gonna graduate in 4 years. So I really had a strong village, but I still didn't know what being a mom was until very recent. Not recent, but it took a long time to kind of develop. So.
See, my experience is different because I was much older when of course, when I had Mackenzie, I was like
19,
30 something, 34. Yeah, so I had all my 20s to like do things. Even some of my 30s, so, when I work with kids, so I'm always like, man, don't have no baby right now.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
And the 20s are the best time of my life. Like,
but I still
get
never
in that car, spending your last $50, not having to worry about,
yeah.
like, I gotta pay for this. Yeah.
But a lot of people stress about, like, oh my God, I'm gonna be a mom when I'm 40, I'm about to be a mom, or I'm 30 something, I'm about to be a mom. But I'm just like, now that I know this about myself and like really who I am, I would have been so much better as a mom and waiting, or like being like 30, because you kind of know a little bit. I think so. Because I was just like such a kid, like I was so focused on like having fun, or like just being young. Now I don't think I really fully gave, especially my oldest daughter, my all that I would do now. So that's why like when you say like, oh, Aiden, it's like I'm a whole different mom. You know what I'm saying? I'm a whole different mom with my youngest son than my oldest daughter, because I didn't even know who the heck I was when I had her, and now look at me now. So it's just like.
But I don't feel like I'm the same person I was before I had Mackenzie.
You know?
Hell no.
I don't know. I just think that as you get
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like I definitely had to do some calming down. Y'all know how I get. So. Y'all know I could turn it up. So, I had to calm down a lot, and I don't have any patience. So she is like my teacher of patience. It's almost like everything that I didn't have, it was like God was like, I'm gonna give you a baby, make you get all this.
Yes.
When I say choose violence daily, that's my child.
The daughters will mature you. Like the saying is true. Like the daughters mature you, and the sons like love all like what you've been voiding or what you have been missing. But my daughters have definitely made me stronger, and like it's a whole. You have to turn into a whole other person with the girls. With the son, it's just like, oh my God, like somebody loves me like this.
I don't know.
Like it's so cool. Right? Don't scare me, because when he gets older, if he stops, he's gonna be mad.
He is. He's gonna meet a girl he's gonna want to marry.
That's fine.
I'm a firm believer that God gives you the children you need for whatever you need to grow.
Absolutely.
Or cultivate within you. God gives you your children in the exact order that they're supposed to come.
And I wholeheartedly believe that with these.
Like, for sure. I know. So for me, I actually got married to my high school sweetheart not like when I was 19, so not right after high school. And I never wanted kids. And marriage was nothing of what I thought it was going to be, because I shouldn't have gotten married. First of all, I shouldn't have got married at that age. But neither one of us, even when, anyway, I definitely should have got married at that age. So our decision to have Daniel was actually a conscious choice. But I actually had Daniel because I thought it would fix my marriage.
Ooh,
And mature his father.
Don't preach like that. People.
And I did. That was because I told you I didn't want a kid before.
That's
but that's the reason why I wanted to have a kid. And when I had him, it made me want to leave my marriage because it magnified the issues that we had in the marriage. I just couldn't deal with raising a child and raising a whole
Another child.
man, right? A whole child. So yeah, that our marriage ended quickly after. I think Dan was one when I chose to leave. And Daniel was the kid that taught me like really what my strength was, because I didn't leave for so long because I was like, I don't want to be that thing. I don't want to be a single black mom. I don't want a failed marriage. None of that.
It's like you get a stamp. It's like you automatically get a stamp. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, God rest his soul. I don't wish nothing on nobody, but Kevin Samuels was such a trigger for me. Being a single woman with a child and like having a career and making decent money and not needing nobody to really pay for anything, but still feeling like, damn, he still put me at the bottom of the barrel because I got one kid. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So it was like, what? And it was hard to read comments of black men amening that.
Right.
Like, black men amening that who grew up like that. Because your mother didn't have a husband either, but you all here talking crazy. And I just couldn't wrap my mind around it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, what the hell? And then it was like, well, if I didn't have a kid, who am I, right? Like, I don't even know.
It's like, you're like, okay, well, who would I be? Like, without my kids. And to go back to your comment, like me and Steve, like being like new in our marriage or in our relationship, I think also having Ari was just like, okay, well, maybe he'll love me more, or or maybe our relationship will be better. Like maybe the problems that we're going through is going to be like go away because we have this baby, and that's not the case. Like you still have to work through the same issues. So I definitely feel like with Ari, I thought it was going to bring me a new found love or something in our relationship, and the same problems, still existed. So that's very extremely deep. And then when I had my second daughter, I was like trying to prove to myself all the things that I wasn't to my first daughter, and it was driving me crazy. Like I was trying to like be the proving mom, to be like, I can do this. I don't need no help because all of y'all doubted me with Ari, like the church or whatever. Like I don't need no help. Like I'm gonna do this as a mom, and I felt miserably. It like made me more depressed. I was like, what is going on? So I felt like with my second daughter, I wasn't like giving her the love that I should because of who she was. But I was just trying to be like, this is the baby I'm trying to prove myself to everybody to. So at 8, I was like, I don't got to prove that with none of y'all. Like I done been through so much with these two. Like I know what I'm doing this with. So leave me alone. And it was a different type of love, I guess, that I never felt in my life. And I could because that's so much deeper than nobody would get, and I really can't reveal that. But I needed Aiden to teach me that this feeling is, attainable and it's out there, and that I could be loved this way. Not romantically, but it's
of course not, because
it's a whole yeah. If I broke it down, I'd be like, oh. Okay, but I can't do that in this conversation. But just know, it's deeper. I know what it looks like. I know it looks like he's my neighbor, but it's so much deeper.
So we're gonna have to do that on another episode.
Yeah, Aiden was a child who healed me.
Oh Lord,
can we talk about
Aiden
that?
Healed me.
Can we talk?
Ari not broke me, but she broke me to a point where I'm just like, oh, okay, this is like real life. Oh damn, like the weight of the world's on my shoulders. Alea like made it real. Like okay, it's real, and then Aiden like healed my heart.
I feel that for my youngest actually both of them were very healing for me in terms of my own childhood wounds. Like parenting them definitely was a very. I have a lot of mommy guilt and a lot of mommy trauma. So he just kind of wiped that away and proved to me that I can do this. Like I can be, the mom that I want to be. I don't have to hide behind or constantly remind myself of the mom that I'm not. So it's just a whole new level. The fact that your girls trigger you is There's a lot of growth opportunities.
Yeah. And it took a long time to kind of work on that. It was way worse than it is now. And they don't trigger me. It's just like, damn, like I'm really seeing myself outside of my body. So the trigger is not, because they get on my nerves. The trigger is like, oh shit. I'm like looking at myself and I'm like battling the things that I wasn't willing to do. So that's why it's just such a thing for me, because they are like the splitting image of me, the same moves, they think the same, they say the same thing, so I have to parent myself. So I'm just like, okay, this is really blowing me. And then like with my oldest, it's like, okay, I'm trying to get you all the things, I'm trying to make you understand the things that my mom was telling me, but it didn't make sense at the time. Now it's making sense, and I'm mad because you're not listening. But I was the same way, it's just it's a lot.
But so my thing is, okay, I feel like I'm a good mom, like I do the best that I can, it's just me, I take care of the majority of the responsibility, etc. I'm working 2 jobs, all of the things, right? But it's like, outside of being my daughter's mother, like I don't really have a life.
That's
you get what I'm saying? And it's like, when do I find myself, like, because before my daughter, I had a life. I had a plan, I had a life, I had all these things, and I never imagined having to parent a child by myself. So now that I'm doing it by myself, I find myself running out of time to do anything other than be her parent.
Right. And but that bothers me too, because like I tell, dance moms, whoever moms I'm talking to, is like, you hear everybody say, well, I'm 100% dedicated to my kids. Kita is not. I mean, I'm 100% dedicated to their needs. I'll make sure you're taken care of. I got you. But I can't dedicate all of myself and give up my whole self for what I want to do for my kids. So I'm like, I'm going to do 75% of what you want me to do. I'll be there for you. But 25%, I need to be trying to like work on my business. I need to be trying to like heal myself. I need to be in therapy. Like, I need all these things to do, because if I don't do that, then I can't be nobody's mom.
You've always been that type of mother, or you had to grow into that?
I had to grow into not even being 75%.
Okay.
So I kind of started at 25%. Okay, I'm not doing enough. I need to like get more involved. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But now that I'm like super mom, it's just like, no, I gotta like really focus on what I want, because I still can't carry like hurt and pain. I still can't like be wishing and hoping and waiting on my dreams. Just because I'm, a mom, I have to find balance. I never had that before. So otherwise I'd just be angry, bitter, and just be like, I'm just here. So I would really tell you to break it up, work on our balance, because you're going to lose yourself.
But it's hard. It's not that many people to piggyback off of. It's not like village. You know what I mean? Like my village is small because either everybody's in Jersey or my father is 6 hours away. So it's not like, oh, he coming to get a Friday and I got the whole weekend to work on my podcast. I got the whole weekend to do this and do that and whatever. It's always like,
you definitely need a big support system. But I don't want my kids to be leaving.
And you don't want to like keep asking the same people, because then you start feeling like, well, I'm always dumping my kid on them.
Yeah. I just don't want my kids to leave the house, go to college, and I'm sitting here like, who am I? Like, what do I want to do? Like, what can I do? Like, how am I creative? Oh, let me just dig up let me try to get help now at almost 50 and reveal myself to me. Like, I don't want to do that. So I want to be in the midst of, so we can grow together. Like, I'm always going to raise my kids, but I also need to like make sure that I'm mentally stable to even do so. So,
Scott, I was a lot like you with Daniel. Because I didn't have a village at the time, and his dad like totally went MIA because he had some healing.
Isn't it so hard not to like say the things you
divorced?
So
so he disappeared for like the first 5 years of Daniel's life, and it was just literally me and him, right? And I literally like, there was no mom to call, there was no dad to call, there was no aunts to call to babysit. Like, well, I call my younger sister sometimes, but I didn't have a life. I can't even say that. Yeah, like I didn't have a life for
that
the
makes
first
a huge difference.
6-7 years that Daniel was born. Like, or you know what I did? I had one friend who had a son that was close to our age that became like, I hung out with her all the time because we could hang out as parents and like do stuff and like have a good time as adults, and our kids
still
all playing. Yeah. And I started like, I really had to intentionally start building my tribe around like being like, can you be my support in these areas? Because I was killing myself.
Yeah.
I was truly blessed. Like my mother, whew, she definitely stepped right on it. She's always been like that. So I think my village is super strong. I don't know what I would do if I was just doing it on my own.
Like my dad and them help out, and I just don't like to ask them, right? You know what I mean?
That's the one.
And some of that's me because I've always been super independent.
Yeah,
and
she had.
You know, like the same thing. Out of everybody, I was like one of the first ones to have my own spot. Like so it was just kind of like
you grew up so fast, like
because my childhood was very very adultified. I had to learn how to. I did a lot of adulting very early because in Jersey my mom was drinking. And it was kind of like I had to like be a parent, and then it was like I got wished away. Ended up in Maryland. Yeah, so basically I was very independent, and that's something that I struggled with. And I even had to have a conversation with my father has even had a conversation with me about like you need to get over that, like.
Woo.
You know what I mean? Like, you need to get over that.
Yeah.
Like, cause like right now, like we just got a house and it's a multi-generational house because I'm paying for everything on my own, so I can't afford to just jump out there. Even though I make really good money, it's still not enough when you pay.
But you always been the type person like when it comes to like help or somebody like you're like, no, I got it, thanks. Like,
yeah,
no, thank you.
No, you know why? Cause I don't ever want to hear. Oh,
don't throw it in my face.
Like, I don't like that, so I just don't even put myself in that scenario. So I try not to ask people too much, which ends up me being home when I'm not working. Like, because they watch her on Tuesdays and Thursdays because that's the days I work my other job. But it's never like, oh, they got her because I'm out and I'm with the happy hour. Like, that's not the case.
Yeah,
but it's like,
I'm a little bit like that too.
Nobody's going to come knocking on my door in Maryland. Like, hey, you want to go on a date? So it's like...
You never know.
No, they're not gonna come knocking on the door. I gotta go somewhere.
Right, you gotta. That's how you gotta go
somewhere, and not to work, like not on 95 and then pull up in DC.
Well, why do we moms do that? Like, I feel like I do that in a different angle from you. Like, I don't want to ask somebody for help, whatever. But why do we choose like internally struggle like that? Like, we could be like,
I think that's like a generational.
We need help so bad, but we just be like, okay, I'm just gonna struggle through it and just be a whole.
Because that's how we were raised. Even though, like, it doesn't matter if you came from a 2-parent household. I have talked to people in both situations, and that is what Black women have been taught from the beginning, and it's passed down. And it's like, okay,
I hate depending on someone.
When are we gonna be off the struggle bus? God damn it!
Right.
Yeah. I don't want to be on the struggle bus no more. I don't want to be on the struggle bus. I want to be able to walk in the house and know that my man got it, and I don't have to even.
Dudes don't struggle. They be like, I need help. Can you get it?
They don't.
Can you do this?
Like, but they can want you to do a lot of shit.
Did you try?
No, they're not gonna try if you're gonna do it.
Yeah, but and they know it's gonna get done better anyway. Like
they do it on purpose. I'm convinced of it, but yeah,
it's gonna get done better. But I think we just like choose this struggle when we don't even have to. Like we be just wrecking our brains, be like falling apart behind the scenes. Like I don't know how to get this done, but then on the outside we're like we got it together.
My issue was control, to be honest.
Ooh.
Like is that like underneath the ball, like underneath the ball of that, I really had to like pinpoint it. Like I didn't want to release control, even in parenting.
No,
like
I do not.
Oh gosh, I could tell y'all stories, man.
I'm gonna eat the egg on that.
Yeah, so Daniel's father, when he did come back into the picture, I was super. There were other things going on in his life that led me to like be like, this is not okay. But aside from that, I was still super controlling because my son didn't know him. Like, I mean, yeah, you're his biological father, but you've been gone, right? Like, I don't know the type of parent like you're gonna be, and I was super. When I had Daniel, I definitely was a bubble parent. My kids gonna live in a bubble. People used to make fun of me. I didn't care. I was like, that's okay. He's gonna live. He's gonna be all right because of the stuff I went through as a child. I was definitely that parent that was like, I want to show my child everything in life. Not realistic, but that caused me hyper control, right? And so many areas, and even if I say like was not gonna turn out like how I wanted, that's control. Like, and I had to even allowing my kid to do things for himself, right? My pediatrician had talked to me about that when I got pregnant with my second. But even allowing him to start doing stuff for himself and hold space for him to do stuff for himself and pushing him was a control thing. I had to release control.
That's what I was telling y'all a few weeks ago. Like, my oldest daughter, like, I had to really accept that maybe the things that I want for her are not the things that she wants for herself. But I'm just like, you know, by the way we were raised to like, you go to school, like, get in a whole bunch of debt,
and that's it.
get in a whole bunch of debt, get your degree. So it's like we have this like uniformed mindset for our kids, and when it doesn't happen, it's like, oh my God, I can't control this. Like, I can't control her, you know, doing great in school, or I can't control her, you know, wanting to go to HBCU or different colleges, and that is a hard thing to let go, because I'm like, you're my child. Like, I'm your mother. Like, I've done all of this, but
they don't belong to us.
They don't.
It's so
That's
bad.
so hard.
People don't like to hear that, but like,
true.
Mackenzie is not mine.
Yeah, this is humble me. This is humble me. I'm like, I did all of this to get you to 18 for you to have your own little plan of your life. Like, can it at least be a part of my, like, a little bit of my plan? Like, you do my plan, like, you figure out yourself in the midst of my plan. It does not work like that.
You
So,
legit are a guide, and that's it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to let her flourish and do what she does, and you just supposed to be there to catch her before she's smacking to the wall.
Such a
That's
hard
it.
job.
It's
because
hard,
she
but
has to
it's
find her
like,
identity,
you know,
right? But I'm just like, okay.
because you want them to be able to, like, to be able to think on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the worst thing you could do is have a kid that can't make decisions. Like,
Oh my
that's why, like,
God.
people laugh at me. Like, people that, like, if I brought Mackenzie to work, or if somebody's been on the phone with me from work and they can hear Mackenzie in the background, especially when we was on quarantine, it'd be like, dang, you talk to her like she's 12. And I'm like, because she understands, y'all underestimate little kids, they're not slow.
Yeah.
And second, because I want her to know how to make a choice.
Yeah. Exactly.
So even if she can make the wrong choice, she learned early about decisions. Y'all don't know how many kids I work with who don't know how to make a decision.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
their parents
Oh, my
have
God,
made
yeah.
decisions for them their entire fucking life.
Yeah.
And now at 18, you want them to go out here and be able to make decisions, but you
Yeah.
never gave them the option.
Yeah, and I have allowed her to make, decisions, but I'm just, the biggest lesson I'm taking away is I can't want it more than she does. You know what I'm saying? As much as it hurts, and it's kind of like what I'm kind of learning now in my life, like, I had to find myself and find things that I want, and she kind of has to do the same thing. I mean, I didn't realize it would be this young.
But I thought it should be, because she got time to bounce back. You don't want to be 30 and still trying to figure out
I'm just like,
what she got going on.
But then it's like, on the flip side, I'm like, dang, like, it's really gonna be a slap in your face, like, when you really get what I'm saying right now. But then I'm like, maybe I shouldn't expect her to really get it at this age. Like, maybe she has to,
try
like,
to figure it out.
I'm trying to
But
help.
if you let her fail on her own, she will not resent
Exactly.
you. If you don't give her the opportunity, even if you know it's not going to work, she will always be able to say, but you don't know that.
Yep.
It's been a huge slap in my face. I don't like the feeling at all. I'm very defensive, and my therapist is like, girl, like,
Let it go.
and I don't know how to do
Don't
that.
make me give you a session.
Control. I want that control. So that word is just like triggering. Like, what? Like, control, perfectionism. It's just,
But that's the very thing we didn't want our parents to do to us.
I know.
We did not want them to control what we were doing, where we went to school, especially since y'all wasn't gonna pay for it anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you told me I can go to Southern. Yeah. And you ain't even pay for it. So it didn't matter.
I mean, I definitely would never regret the path that I've taken in motherhood, because it's really, made me who I am today. It didn't make me feel good. Like, when I thought about, I wouldn't regret any things that I've been through or I'm going through as a mom, because I've been able to find my identity and do things based off my experiences. So if I didn't go through any of it, I wouldn't have a story to tell. I wouldn't be able to help others, no testimony. So it's definitely shaped me, but it does not always feel good. And it just blows me every single time, especially with this whole.
All right, let's do this. This is fun. All right, what are some adjectives that you would use to describe yourself
As a mom?
At your identity.
No, not as a mom.
Right.
Outside of that, like, who is Nekita outside of the 3 children?
Even if motherhood helped shape you, to realize that you had that characteristic or whatever.
It's a lot more than motherhood that shaped me. Oh, Lord. I don't know. You go first. I can't.
I'm gonna say my 3 adjectives. Ooh-wee. Let's take a sip on that. And
What are yours? Look, are you?
Yeah. Compassionate.
Yeah. I can definitely agree with that with you.
Determined. What would the word I would use to describe myself as ever learning? One of the things that is core to who I am and probably will forever be is would it be I don't know if it's self-aware or ever learning. I'm always on a path to like yes.
Yeah.
And really just take accountability for how I show up in life, right? And own that and be intentional about how I show up.
Do you think that's developed? Because I think like just over the last few years, especially in the pandemic, I've started to like be like, okay, I'm gonna just sit with these feelings. I'm gonna sit here and be like, why do I feel this way? Like, why is this trigger always like making me so upset?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why just taking a deep dive into my why and understanding why I am, and then choosing to be like, okay, or being adult enough to be like, I need to change that. Or, taking the approach of like, how can I grow? Like, I think that is like totally.
You get tired of yourself.
Right.
Like,
I'm like, and I'm like, I don't even have to be this anymore based on what I've been through. Like that, a whole situation can make me react the same in a lot of different situations. And I don't have to be like that.
Right.
So it's very difficult. Not tired of you, I get tired of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
I would say mine are strong because that's always been a thing. Like that's just been a thing. Like I don't think there's anybody that knows me that would say something different. I would say calm now. I'm a lot more calm than I used to be.
I don't think so.
So I think I am. What shade? Ooh. I think I am calmer than I used to be. And probably the last one, I would say a student because it's not even, you know what I mean? Because I feel like my daughter teaches me a lot of things, and then I find myself wanting to learn more things to be more for her and me, right? You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm more intentional about how I move now, like and how I talk to her, how I talk to her father, how I talk to people in general. And that was a lot of COVID, self-reflecting, looking in the mirror like, yo, why are you always talking to people like you crazy?
Right.
I'm very honest, but it's like, sometimes it's like, you don't have to put the stank on it though. You could just kind of say it in a different way. Because I'm very like,
but if you did that to me, I'd be like, what's wrong with you? Like, wait a minute. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what?
And I think a lot of it has to do with my profession too. Like after a while, you do therapy every day, and it's like you learn how to be like empathetic, and you gotta talk to people a little bit different because it's not your home girl. But I get my clients like, I know that's bullshit. but yeah, I think that's where I'm at right now. Yeah.
I don't know what to describe. I think I'm a fighter. Like,
that's a good one.
Because there's a lot of like things that I've been through that nobody would ever be able to tell. Like I'm like in the fire, but coming out with just no marks, no bruises, no nothing, no burns. Yeah, so I'm definitely a fighter. I think I'm very genuine, passionate. I don't know. Definitely strong. And that's what I'll say. I don't know. That's a weird question. Like to describe yourself. I don't like it.
It's not a weird question. It's a question we should be very comfortable answering.
I don't like it because it's just so like, I don't know. It just makes you feel uncomfortable.
You have to self-reflect. That's the hardest thing you do. Anybody ever asked you to do is.
I always point out my flaws first before mine.
So listen. Can I say this? I feel like that comes from when we was younger. I feel like
it's
you
a protection
do that to protect yourself from people saying something before you want to hear it. And you should stop doing that because you actually open the door for people to say some bullshit.
Right, but it's just so weird saying, "Oh, I'm genuine. I'm a fighter. I'm strong." It seems like you're just like, okay, like just make it.
If it wasn't real, I would call you out.
Yeah, I just like to, be behind the scenes and just let it come out rather than tell somebody I'm this. I don't like to put myself like on a.
But it's not. You know what it is? That's your identity. Your identity is not what you do, right? Mm. It's not the titles you possess. And the reason why I asked you that question is exactly that. Like the reason why we should get more comfortable with answering that question is because you are not. Your identity is not a mother. It's not a. I don't know if I can say where you work, but a woman worker. It's not a. You know what I mean? It's not a wife. Those are the things that you do. But who you are all of those characteristics that empower you to serve the roles that you
Maybe that's
serve.
why I have a hard time answering the question, like, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Like, the weaknesses, girl, I'm gonna give you this whole list. Like, this is what I need to work on. Because I'm okay with that. But highlighting myself or, like, telling you my strengths is, like, really difficult. So that's good. This was good therapy for me.
You need to work on that.
I know. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want, I hope people get from this episode, like, a little, I need to sit with my homegirls and, like, talk about all the things, like, what my, like you said, strengths and weaknesses are.
Yeah.
And then, like, once you identify that, okay, now what? Now what are you going to do to work on the weaknesses? And what are you going to do to make sure that the strengths stay the strengths? You know what I mean? And
yeah, I think it's important for everyone to have conversations like this because I think that all of us need that raw.
Yes.
I think we're so, like, conditioned to, like, put all these lovely roses and everything on what we're going through. And nobody ever gets down to, like, the nitty gritty. Everybody's just scared to, like, really expose.
But that's
those
because
things.
we didn't
Like,
grow
be
up
vulnerable.
in spaces where I know very few people who grew up in spaces where they were allowed to have open conversations. And I really want my daughter to feel like she could be like, "Mom, you want some straight."
But
she can't say it now. She can't say it like that. You know, she can't say it like that. But she can say, like, look, you hurt my feelings. You should probably apologize because we don't apologize to our kids enough because our parents didn't apologize to us, and they was dead ass wrong sometimes.
I do it often.
And like I said, like, if you tell your mom or tell whoever raised you, like, you know, it was different, I didn't have the space to kind of do this, they will deny it forever.
Oh, girl, my
you
cousin
had
told
that.
my aunt something.
You
She was
had
like, no.
You
That's
did
not
this,
true.
but it's just like, no.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of sensitive to, you know, what my kids go through because I'm like, now I remember, like, feeling like that.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna be hard. Like, you can
be hard on them, but you can still let them express themselves because they need to feel comfortable in any relationship, and it should start at home to express something that's bothering them. And you know what? Not to give our parents or, like, generations before us a pass, but that's still, like, it's so much stuff that needs to be broken in our communities. From
especially millennials, we had the worst, like
just like slave stuff down that went down to, you know, whatever. It's kind of like nobody. It was like, no, we not talking about that. No, you just need to let it go. Everything, you know, everything was like not allowed. So,
but that's why I feel like I have to continuously do the work on myself. Like when I'm talking about that balance, to even be able to be open to that, to even be able to be open to letting my kids express. Because the more I grow, the more I understand I'm willing to, you know, be able to hear them. So otherwise, it won't work out. Just from the stress and everything.
You know what I'm excited about? I feel like our generation as parents are the most transparent. When we're getting to a space where we are the most transparent generation. And, you know, we know kids learn by what
parents
they
don't
see,
like it
right?
now.
They don't. But not by what we tell them, right? I wonder the type of children that we are raising with the transparency and vulnerability and space that we hold for them to, like, really be themselves. I wonder the type of kids they'll be. I mean, the type of adults and parents they will be when they become.
And I think for us, it was a process because we weren't always vulnerable. I think we just got here by being mature and like, oh, okay, like it's okay to be open. It's okay to, you know, talk about depression, anxiety, and the things that we go through. I think we just got there. I don't know what clicked for us, but something like clicked, and then we were all just out here like, you know what? Let me tell you my life so maybe I can help you out. Because this here is got out.
It definitely
I
was a shift.
Yeah, because I don't remember us ever being like this before. So, because we were the generation that had the opportunity to not experience social media, which I'm very grateful for.
Yes.
Now that social media is here, I wish that our kids didn't have that. And then we experienced technology, social media. Like our parents have no idea how to use Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. So I'm grateful that we got, you know, both. But our kids, I think it's gonna just like blow up. It's gonna be like a whole nother level from even where we are. Because look at them now, like what are they, Gen Z? Like I
don't even know.
Whatever,
Gen Z, but they
X,
need to get it together.
But they inspire people that's like, oh, I quit my job today.
They're very
I don't got no plan. Us were like, okay, I don't know, what am I gonna do? Like, I gotta move back home. They like, I quit my job today and I'm still paying my rent. You know, I'm gonna get this good ad on TikTok.
I'm gonna sell some foreign exchange.
I made my own body butter. So I think they're just like their mindset.
They not believing the hype is what they
They do.
They
Yes,
are
without a plan.
they're not believing the hype. Like they're not
Yeah.
afraid to go against the grain. Like some of
Yeah.
us probably should have told our parents, "Nah, I ain't trying to do
Yeah.
that."
Right.
So they need us in that aspect. They need that advice from us because they like, oh, I walked out today. Like my boss yelled at me on the first day, so I'm not gonna go back. What?
You violated my space.
Yes, that's definitely something.
And for us, it's like, what space? Like there is no space. Like you have to like push through because you got to make these bills. But they're gonna be next level, like vulnerable on a million.
Right.
Yeah, because you could tell now. Now I don't know about like our younger kids, like Aiden's age. I don't know. Like it could totally change. But these kids these days, they're doing it. They're telling the world everything. Yeah, out of control.
Well, ladies, I think we're gonna wrap this up into a part 2, so we can
Alright,
go
I'm
into
excited.
some more identity stuff, and then we need to talk about what's your identity for your love life. How do you balance your relationship if you're married?
We're gonna have more wine.
We're gonna definitely have more wine. How do you balance your relationship or trying to get one?
Right, trying to
if you're
get
not
one.
married.
Because I have questions for y'all. Like, because I'm married and, you know.
Yeah, we need all the advice.
I have questions for
We're gonna talk
how the way
about
y'all be thinking.
We gonna get it
talk about
together.
it.
We're gonna do it on the next episode. So I hope y'all enjoyed. Holla at your girls next time.
Thanks for being with us.
Bye.
Crazy.
I'm just